Alright, so some of you might be aware I'm currently rewatching the original Pokemon series. Here's the Twitter tag if you're interested. Rewatching this series has given me some perspective. This is where it all began, but I have the modern standards in my head. So what would I do for the teams of Ash and his two companions, Misty and Brock? This video is mainly going to be focused on the Kanto portion of the journey. I'm still working on going through the Orange Islands and eventually Johto, so I don't want to make changes just yet, but there's potential at least to mention the anime events of those locations. There are some potential storylines that we could explore with the new teams. Let's get started with our main man, Ash. So of course we'll be starting with everyone's favourite electric rodent, unless you're one of the people who voted for Dedenne in the Pokemon of the Year poll. Pikachu! I just can't change anything here, he's absolutely perfect. And fun fact about me, original series Pikachu is my favourite incarnation of him. He's so full of personality, kind of being a bit of a wimp, but he grows alongside Ash. His arc is becoming more of a fully formed Pokemon, which is really cool. So at the same time, he's really cute and he's a comedy icon. He's got to stay. And come on, he's a mascot. You can't just change him now. And likewise, Butterfree will be staying as a choice on his team. Well, for a bit longer than it did in the original show. I think it was a pretty decent pick to begin with. It's relatively easy to be Ash's first catch, and I think it's well suited to be one to introduce him to evolution. It also helps introduce Ash to trading. So, you know, maybe it can stay on the team for a bit longer just to make its eventual release a whole lot more impactful. Because it was a really good episode right now, but you know, it could just be a whole lot better. So Pidgeotto will be replaced with a Pidgey to grow stronger under Ash's care. Pidgeotto didn't really get to do much in this series, so giving it more of an arc, starting from it being a weak Pidgey, would help make it being left behind after the league a little more impactful, as it helps a group of weaker Pidgey and Pidgeotto itself, and that's what leads to its evolution. I think that'd be a nice way to bring it all full circle. Also, as a side note, it was the only one of Ash's Pokemon to ever damage any of Giovanni's Pokemon, so imagine how much more satisfying that would have been with seeing it progress properly. Bulbasaur can stay too, and I'm not going to evolve it at all. I kind of love that it goes on to be like the big brother and leader of the Pokemon at the lab, despite being a tiny Bulbasaur. But I really like the episode where it refused to evolve. It shows that it's very independent and doesn't do what others do just because they do it. It chooses its own path to become strong, and I think that's a good message. Plus Ash totally gassed up Bulbasaur as a Pokemon that he dreamed of. You know, it was meant to be that he'd get one. Primate. Whoa, I hear you say. Where's Squirtle? Where's Charmander? He ain't getting them. And let's just say for now that will be explained later. But for now, I think Primate was a pretty fun Pokemon. It didn't stay for long, but I think it made an impact. Instead of having a disobedient Charizard, I'd really be giving that arc to Primate instead. Suddenly thrusting this tough, strong Pokemon on him not knowing what to do. Maybe a good chance for him to really come to terms with what make different Pokemon tick, and really help him grow as a trainer. Right, this one might seem out left field, but Ponyta. In the Flame Pokemon-a-thon, Ash manages to befriend a Ponyta and races in place of its trainer, Lara, and it wins the race, which shows off his natural aptitude for this. Now you're probably saying, what about any other Pokemon he befriended? Why Ponyta? Well, this kind of goes into something we see later in the series in Diamond and Pearl, where a child Ash is excited to see a Rapidash, and lots of people, like me, think that could be Ash's father. I think it'd be a pretty cool way to tie in a past aspect of Ash's life to his team. But at the same time, I also think that he actually did form quite a good bond with this Ponyta. I'd have really liked to see that be taken further. And you know, maybe one day it could become a Rapidash, but you know, I don't know. I don't know about that just yet. I think he should still capture various Pokemon he does like Krabby, Muck, Tauros, and maybe even throw in a couple of other random Kanto Pokemon along with them. After all, Ash literally set on this journey with catching Pokemon being a part of his goal. Gary went off and got 200 of the bloody things for God's sake. I'd probably throw in a Sandshrew personally just because I like it, but I don't know what definitively screams Ash to me. So that's it for him. Pikachu, Butterfree, Pidgeotto, Bulbasaur, Primate, and Ponyta are my choices for Ash's primary team in this series. So, the first of the two companions in the Kanto region is Misty, and it'd probably be easier to say what she'll be keeping. So she'll have Psyduck, Staryu, Togepi, and I think Horsey will be a Pokemon that she still has, but it stays at the gym from the beginning, rather than being something she caught later on. So, with Staryu, it always seemed really weird to me that she had Staryu and Starmie, and on top of that, Staryu was a better one of the two anyway, so why even waste a slot on Starmie? She can work towards Staryu's evolution. That being said, it'd be used against Ash in the Cerulean Gym battle alongside Horsey. Horsey will be at the gym because, let's be honest, there's not much Goldeen or It could do on land, where the gang is travelling most of the time. The series literally has a scene that highlights this, so it lives at the gym in this version. You could even integrate the story about it being stung by tentacles and have had Misty save it in the past, make it part of her backstory. I chose it over Goldeen because it was a lot more memorable to me, and you know, looking even further ahead, maybe at some point it could become a Cedar or something. Now a big addition to the team will be Squirtle. Ooh boy, you know I couldn't leave Squirtle out. So why am I giving it to Misty? Well, in the original capture episode, it totally tricks Ash by threatening to execute Misty so that he rushes to get the medicine that Pikachu needed. And yes, you heard that right. Squirtle threatens to execute Misty. Now granted it wasn't actually going to go through with it. It was just to motivate Ash, and honestly, that's just so on brand for Misty. They're a perfect fit. I don't think it's a coincidence that it was a water type too, so it's something that I feel could help her grow towards becoming a water type master. I think that it should evolve into Wartortle and potentially be her race of the series. Maybe this could happen the second time that they go visit the Cerulean Gym. I'm not going to go as far as giving her Blastoise just yet. I think that'd be possible down the line though. So let's add something that wouldn't do that. Jigglypuff. You know that Jigglypuff that kept showing up? Misty really liked it, and she took it on herself to help Jigglypuff sing properly again in her debut episode. I think that forms a pretty viable bond with her. I just think it'd be a fun addition for her team. To be honest, I can't really think of anything else I'd give her. Slowpoke? Well, Psyduck has a dopey Pokemon aspect covered. Cloyster? I just don't see that. Some other potential candidates are Pokemon that I actually would give her, but they come at later times past Kanto that I'm actually really cool with. I love Poliwag, but that's Orange Islands, and this is about Kanto. I love the Gyarados episode in Pokemon Chronicles, but that's better suited there. Lapras? Well, I would, but again, that's suited for the Orange Islands, and, you know, this is primarily about Kanto. So this is a team I'd have for Misty. Psyduck, Staryu, Togepi, Squirtle, and Jigglypuff. Oh, and Horsey, kinda. That just leaves the main man Brock. Geodude Onix stay. Zubat is 100% gone. What does it do? Nothing. The first really big addition for Brock is Charmander. Go watch a Charmander capture episode and tell me that the episode didn't highlight Brock and Charmander's bond way more than it did Charmander and Ash. Brock is the most worried about it. Brock is the one that Charmander looks to when Damien comes back after seeing how strong it can be. Brock is the one who reminds Charmander what Damien did to it, and Brock gets pissed about some of the stuff Damien says, going as far to call him a brat. The only reason why Ash ends up with it is that he protected Charmander's tail when they were taking it to a Pokemon Center. Ash even acknowledges that Brock was the one who saved Charmander's life, really. So I don't know, man. I think it'd be a pretty cool thing for Brock to be in a position to basically rehabilitate an abused Pokemon. It would help him grow as a breeder, and actually have him actively working towards that goal. And it could also maybe have a Trick One effect later, where he could use that experience to help Ash with Chimchar. So yeah, Brock gets Charmander. I think a good situation for Charmander's evolution could be having Brock be put in a position where only Charmander can save it, and it evolves out of the genuine affection it has for its trainer. Sort of like with Misty and Wartortle, I don't know if I'd go as far to fully evolve it in Kanto, but I think I'm more receptive to the idea of it becoming a Charizard in it. I was very back and forth if Brock should keep Vulpix, since you know he has a fire type already in this version. I think I settled on maybe it has a nurturing big sister type role to Charmander, and maybe seeing that, Susie gives Vulpix to Brock. This is really the only role I could really give it to let it feel like it's doing something. So yeah, it'd be Charmander's big sister. Now, inspired by the Johto games actually, I figured it'd be interesting to see how he would handle a fossil Pokemon on the main cast. I think Aerodactyl would be out of the picture for me. It just feels like it has a power that the other Kanto fossils don't. So I'm kind of leaning more on the Kabutops side personally. I just think that looks better with him. He's a Pokemon breeder. How does he adapt to a Pokemon that's out of time, in a world it doesn't know? So Go said to his Aerodactyl in Pokemon Journeys, I should take its time and see a world with him, and that'd be perfect for Brock. He's out travelling Kanto and Johto with Ash. It would pull him back to getting rock types, and I didn't want to limit him to those, but I think this works pretty well with him. So my team for Brock is Onix, Geodude, Charmander, Vulpix, and Kabuto, or Kabutops. You know, maybe that can evolve later. Who knows? So, these were just some of my ideas for Pokemon I would give the OS crew, with some potential storyline ideas. Are there any changes you would make to these teams? Do you like them as is? Be sure to let me know, and thank you all for watching.